already signed up to stay in Hong Kong. Actually, we made a deal if me and
Hello
Tony
and welcome to Pro Tour Kobe.
if one of us
I'm
wins
Randy
the
Bueller.
PT,
I'm here
we
with
get
Brian
those on
Kibler, and we're getting ready to bring you coverage of the quarterfinal matches.
Go ahead and begin.
We're going to start out with the match between Gabriel Nassif and Ben Stark. What do you think about this matchup, Brian?
This is the matchup in the top 8 that Gabriel Nassif did not want to see. Nassif's Cloud Post deck, dubbed 12 Post. It's a mono green deck with the only non-green card is Leanin Anubis. It's designed to beat the anti-artifact deck, or basically like the red decks in the format that make up much of the top 8.
Well, there you get a good look at Ben Stark. Stark led with an Arcbound Worker, and he's playing the Affinity deck that was supposed to be the talk of the tournament. So Ben Stark with Affinity versus Gabriel Nassif with 12 Post. And there's Nassif. He's facing down Skull Clamp and Arcbound Worker, but he's got his first Cloud Post, so Cloud Post number 1 hits play. And Nassif, there you get a good look at him. Arguably the best player in France. What do you think?
He's arguably the best player in the world right now. He
You
has
think?
3 consecutive constructed top 8 finishes.
He's a bold statement,
He's at least arguably the best constructed player in the world right now.
Kai Buddha hasn't won a Pro Tour in a year.
He hasn't won a Pro Tour in quite some time.
I have enough.
Wow.
I mean,
Interesting.
I'm certainly not going to argue that his results make him any sort of consensus best player over Kai.
All right.
But with his constructed results of late, with top 8 at Euros
That's a good point.
last year, 3 consecutive constructed Pro Tour top 8s, as well as a 9th place finish at Worlds last year, Nassif's on quite a tear.
Well, he is facing down quite a few. The Affinity deck came out pretty fast for Ben Stark. He's got Arcbound Worker, Skull Clamp. He's got the Arcbound Ravager, which is so important to the deck, and a Frogmite, all facing off against just 3 lands from Gabriel Nassif.
This is one of the problems for Nassif's deck. It's quite a bit slower than many of the other anti-artifact decks in the format. He only has access to Oxidize and Viridian Shaman in order to deal with his opponent's artifacts, as well as Oblivion Stone, but that often is too little too late. His deck is designed to develop its mana and take advantage of huge, powerful spells like Tooth and Nail to bring into play gigantic creatures that are very difficult for the other anti-artifact decks in the format to deal with. In the Affinity matchup, however, sometimes that ends up being just a bit too slow, and he can't deal with the explosive starts like this one.
He's got the Viridian Shaman you were talking about. Bye-bye Skull Clamp. Stark, of course, feeds it to his Arcbound Ravager, so now it's a 2/2 Ravager. But no Skull Clamp. Skull Clamp seemed like it was going to dominate this tournament. I mean, just listening to players coming into the weekend, Skull Clamp this, Skull Clamp that, it was all about the Skull Clamp. But only 2 Affinity decks through to the top 8.
Well, I think what happened in this tournament is that players basically knew it was beat Affinity, play Affinity, or lose to Affinity.
Sure.
Those are really your only options. I believe 40% of the field was made up of some form of
45%.
45%.
110 out of 239.
Which is an absurd percentage for a Pro Tour.
Yeah, I'm not sure we've ever had that before. Had anyone
I
deck
don't
was
believe
45%.
it's been even really close to that.
Yeah, I mean, even back like Necro during the Necro
Rebel
days.
the Rebel Pro Tour, I believe, was less.
I think you're right. Maybe
Regardless.
Rebels. There were a lot more.
Yeah,
the Rebel decks had more diversity than the Affinity decks, but
yeah, I mean the builds for the Affinity decks are, I mean there is a good deal of variety. I mean even in this top 8, Jelger Wiegersma is also playing an Affinity deck. His has copies of Aether Vial and Mirror Retrievers. His is far more of a combo-ish, control-ish version than Ben Stark's is.
another Skull Clamp from Ben Stark. He cast Thoughtcast, then he came up with both a Skull Clamp and a Mirror Enforcer. So
And a land, which was important.
sure, still applying the pressure. And then Gabriel Nassif, all he's got is that Viridian Shaman and 3 lands. Only the 1 Cloud Post too. That's I think the real news. He had 1 Cloud Post. He has not shown a Sylvan Scrying. We'll see. Maybe he's got Reap and Sow. That's his other way to go get the Cloud Post that he needs to build up.
And that's one of the big problems for Nassif in this matchup. His deck revolves around using spells early on to build up a powerful mana base, and casting those early spells against the deck as fast as the Affinity deck that Stark is playing, I mean, it can simply be lethal. You just have to use your early turns to fight against their assault, and you don't have the time to build up your mana base.
And that Viridian Shaman's looking nervous. Stark has sent his troops into the red zone, and Viridian Shaman is going to block Arcbound Worker. Arcbound Worker then got fed to the Arcbound Ravager, so that's a 3/3 Ravager and the Frogmite smashing into Nassif. Nassif takes 5, down to 13. Oh, it takes 6. The Ravager's 4/4. My apologies. 4/4 Ravager and the Frogmite went into the red zone.
another problem for Nassif in this matchup is that other than Oblivion Stone, he has no way to actually remove Disciple of the Vault, which is one of the most powerful cards in the Affinity deck, particularly in combination with Arcbound Ravager. I mean,
there's Oblivion Stone.
There's Oblivion Stone.
Will he have time to untap? That's the real question. Like, if he can survive this turn and wipe the board, he's in good shape. But there is Disciple of the Vault. There it is. Ben Stark. Disciple of the Vault comes down, and now he can just feed his entire board to his Arcbound Ravager. So this should be it, right?
I believe so.
Nassif takes 1 from the Chromatic Sphere getting sacked. Disciple of the Vault deals 1 damage to the opponent whenever an artifact goes to the graveyard. And if there's one thing Affinity can do, it's send artifacts to the graveyard. 4/4 Ravager, Skull-Clamped Frogmite, and a Mirror Enforcer head over for the attack.
If Nassif has Oxidize here, he's actually not in terrible shape.
Really? Can he survive the Ravager?
I believe he can. I mean, he can certainly survive just sacking the artifacts of the Ravager. He might not be able to survive just damage
Disciple.
being
How many
stacked.
artifacts are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah,
6
7.
artifacts.
All right, yeah, he's dead if he doesn't cast He's dead, period, actually.
Sack an artifact.
Yeah.
20. Come on, Gabe.
Nassif just smiles. Come on, Gabe, says Ben Stark. It's clear that Game 1 is headed to the American. Yep, there it is. Ben Stark takes a 1-0 lead in this best 3 out of 5 matchup. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more coverage of the quarterfinals. All right, well, hello again to all of you out there on the internet. We're going to do a little radio commentary here in between games. The players are going to shuffle up in sideboard, and Brian and I will chat a little bit with you. Welcome back to Pro Tour Kobe. We're still watching the match between Gabriel Nassif and Ben Stark. It's game number 2, and both players have been forced to take a mulligan before this game. Gabriel Nassif went down to 6 cards, and then Ben Stark went down to 5. So the Affinity deck only got 5 cards to try to come up with that busted opening that he needs if he's going to win this game against Gabriel Nassif. It's got to be Edge Nassif with those mulligans, right?
Absolutely. Although, I mean, there certainly is something to be said for the Affinity deck's ability to come back from a mulligan. It has both Skull Clamp and Thought Cast, which give it the ability to...
all right. Well, we've got Glimmer Void, Disciple of the Vault, and Welding Jar from Ben Stark.
And that could...
Oh, Oxidize the Welding Jar. Bye-bye Glimmer Void.
That could be bye-bye game.
I mean, he mulligans down to 5. He had to risk it, right? He had to run the Glimmer Void with 1 artifact. It's the only land he's got in his draw, clearly. Jeez. And then Gabriel Nassif oxidizes the Welding Jar. Glimmer Void dies. Now it's just a Disciple of the Vault. And Gabriel Nassif off to the races. Sylvan Scrying for Cloud Post. Disciple of the Vault gets in for 1. Ben Stark's got the early lead, but still no land. Jeez. Disciple comes over. Still no land for Ben Stark.
Permanentless magic.
He's got a permanent. He's still allowed to
Don't
talk.
be complaining. You have a 1/1.
There's Reap and Sow.
So Benes has a Disciple, and Nassif has 3 Cloud Posts. So Benes has 0 mana. Nassif has 11.
That seems fair.
I mean, that seems close to me.
Go.
20, 16.
Although Stark is ahead in life.
All right. You've built up, Gabrielle.
12
What you got
mana.
for us?
What do you want?
Taps a Cloud Post for Oblivion Stone. And entwines Tooth and Nail.
Cool.
Here it
Go ahead and
comes.
get 2 guys, then I'll skip.
He wants to know what guys you're getting.
Ben
first.
Stark says, go ahead, get 2 guys, then I'll scoop. Just wants to see what Nassif's plan is. Leonid Abunas,
Alright.
Platinum Angel.
Fair enough.
Fair enough, and that's game 2. Gabriel Nassif has tied this at 1 game apiece. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with more coverage of the Kobe quarterfinals. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Gabriel Nassif has won 2 games. Ben Stark has won 2 games. And this game, game number 5, will determine who wins the quarterfinals, who goes through to the semis. Will it be Gabriel Nassif's 12-post deck? Will it be Ben Stark's Affinity? Ben Stark gets to go first in this game, so that's got to give him an advantage. But his turn 1, not very exciting. Just a Darksteel Citadel.
It's the slowest start I've ever seen.
That's
of the Affinity
crazy. There's one permanent in play. He
The-
had a whole turn?
That's one of the really amusing things about the Affinity deck is, the turns that are just literally land spell, they're unimpressive. And this here, land, who are you kidding? I mean,
Is he still thinking? Are we still on Stark's turn?
oh no, it's now Nassif's
No,
turn.
it's Nassif's
Nassif
turn,
has drawn
yeah.
a card. Either that or he just drew a card in the middle of Ben Stark's turn. And
No, it is indeed Gabriel Nassif's turn. And he's thinking. He's debating. So I guess he's either has Oxidize or he's telegraphing Oxidize, right?
turn one.
That's the only thing to think about. Does he play the Cloud Post, which comes into play tapped, or does he play the Forest untapped so that he has up Oxidize?
I mean,
Right?
I mean that's really like the decision here.
For 0.
Oh, Chalice for 0. That's interesting. Wow.
Go.
What does Chalice for 0 lock out?
It
Like
stops
Welding Jars and
Welding Jar and Ornithopter.
just Welding Jar Ornithopter?
I believe so.
I mean, the Affinity cards all still get around it, right? A free
Yes.
Mirror Enforcer is still a 7-mana converted mana cost spell, so. Another Darksteel Citadel.
I mean, he must have multiple chalices if he's going to play 1 for 0.
I would think. I wonder, do you think he caught Stark with like a Welding Jar in hand? We did see an Oxidize on Welding Jar take out a Glimmer Void earlier, so I could imagine Ben Stark holding them back.
Possibly.
Yeah, that was so. Makes sense that Nassif would be debating, but he did go with the Forest. Like if he's debating, maybe he was spending the whole time thinking about Chalice of the Void, and the land drop was straightforward, or maybe he had to debate whether to leave up Oxidized mana or play a Cloud Post. Well, Stark has a second land, still no color, but deck doesn't really need a lot of color.
Yeah, Ben Stark was harassing Gabe. He's like, "Oh, it's just turn 1. How many decisions can you have?" And now his turn 2.
He's gonna say go.
Wow.
Look,
Go.
wow. Nassif looking over. What? Go?
What is this go you speak of?
Wow. Ben Stark does not look happy. I wonder if he's got he looks like a man with welding
Yeah,
jars in his
he
hand.
really does.
He
He's
looks
got a
like-
grip full of jars and thopters. He thought he was punking him out, but no. Nassif is the one. Nassif is the one doing the Cali style.
Is he going to win the unwinnable matchup again? Like 12 Post isn't supposed to be able to beat a good Affinity deck. A great deck, coolest deck in the top 8, no question, and Nassif's an amazing pilot for it, but I even talked to Gabriel before the top 8. He was like, I can get lucky, but
Well, I mean,
he did not like his chances.
Interestingly, not long before the top 8 started, I was watching a Mirage only draft that Huey and Jens and some other players were in, and Marco Bloom came by and he was talking to Nassif and he was saying, he was like, I would want to be playing your deck in this matchup. And I mean, Nassif was like, really? He's like, yeah, I think you should win. And he's like, why? Well, I saw them testing, and it looks like your deck has the advantage with the way that he's sideboarding. I mean,
Wow.
Marco wouldn't tell Nassif how Ben Stark was planning on sideboarding, but I mean, he seemed fairly confident that Ben's deck is a fine, or rather that Nassif's deck is the deck that he would want to be playing in the matchup.
Wow. Genesis Chamber comes down. Interesting. Ben Stark plays Genesis Chamber. That's turn 3. It's not, still nothing super exciting. So Genesis Chamber says whenever a creature comes into play, that person gets a 1/1
A
mirror
non-token
token, right?
creature.
Whenever a non-token creature comes into play, right?
Nice.
Okay.
And Frogmite.
Token.
And he gets a token.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess Nassif could oxidize.
Yeah, Nassif could oxidize in
Cards.
response.
4.
Interesting. Nassif played a Talisman, so he does have the green mana, and he's fingering it. Sure, representing an oxidize. Would you oxidize Genesis Chamber here?
I mean, it depends on the rest of your hand, really. I mean,
Yeah.
if you don't really have a good way to stem
He
the
does.
tide of mirrors, he oxidizes.
He does. So,
Token.
Frogmite.
Go.
Nassif's got to feel good. He's playing against Affinity. Affinity got to go first. It's been 3 turns,
All
and
he has in
his
play is a
only
Frogmite.
the only damage he's taken is from a
Easily cost myself this game.
Talisman. Did Stark just say I cost himself this game? I cost myself this game?
Yeah,
Wow. He is. Oh, look! If you look at him,
he does not look
he
happy.
God,
He looks very, very upset with himself.
he's got welding jars in his hand.
He was trying to get too tricky.
How about Gabriel Nassif,
Wow.
the master?
How many of those cost 0, Ben? 4 cards. How many cost 0? By look in your face, I'd say at least 2.
Actually, I'm gonna go kill myself.
Who chalices for 0? How did Nassif find that play? That's the thing I don't get.
That is, I mean, that is pretty masterful.
I guess, you know, he's got to be thinking, like, why on earth would Stark keep a hand that goes land go?
Yeah.
He's the only way that hand makes any sense to keep is if
To have
Stark's
0
going to be able to
casters.
explode on the second turn, and the only way he explodes on the second turn is with 0 mana artifacts to fuel the affinity guys.
For 1.
Sure.
Titania's Chosen
0.
and a Chalice of the Void for 1 from Gabriel Nassif. I'm impressed. Gabriel Nassif read Ben Stark's hand
Oh, absolutely.
beautifully, and he deserves to go to the semis.
Okay.
Arcbound Ravager comes down.
Go.
As Nassif had the option to play Chalice for 2 there, but if he didn't play the Chosen.
I wish I were dead. I wish I were dead.
We need to keep it just to keep the land separate from that. No, the land. That's all right.
Ben Stark chanting, I wish I were dead. I wish I were dead. Either
I'm
that or-
starting to feel bad for
I
the
think
guy.
he just wishes there was no Chalice for 0 in play.
I think
Either that or
wishes
he
he
hasn't.
wasn't on camera on
Yeah,
stage,
he hasn't tried to get so tricky.
being watched over the internet, archived forever. Ben Stark's a great Magic player, though.
Oh, absolutely. Ben's definitely one of the best in the game right now. At least he's.
You think he's the best American in the game right
I mean,
now?
he certainly has the best results of any American recently. I mean,
Sure.
or at least consistently. I mean, Eugene Harvey. It's very difficult to argue that Ben is better than Eugene Harvey with Eugene's results.
Or
as
Osip.
well. Or
Osip's been putting up
Osip
some
hasn't
quality
done it.
results.
He hasn't done very well recently.
He's been making runs at top 8s. He hasn't been getting through to them, but I mean, he's been playing deep into day 2.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty consistently.
Osip's been doing very well, and
Eugene's been doing
Eugene's
better.
been doing better. I mean, I think they're up there for the top players in the U.S.
It's,
right now.
it's probably either Eugene Harvey or Ben Stark. I think that's fair.
I'd say that's fair.
What's he at?
I'm not even making a claim to the title. There was a time when I would have, but right now, I haven't been playing the greatest Magic of all time.
Oh, by the way, Gabriel Nassif just played a Cloud
By
Post.
the way, there's a couple of
and
Cloud
Reap and
Posts
Sowed
in
for a
play.
Cloud Post. Now he's got a billion mana. And next turn, we'll see if he's got the tooth and nail that he needs to ice this game.
Ben Stark is not winning this game.
I can't imagine how.
I can't fathom a hand that he could have at this point that would win this game. I mean, other than Disciple, and somehow the ability to cast them. But he can't because there's
He's got
a
one
Chalice
black mana.
for 1
Right?
play.
Oh, yeah, Chalice for 1.
Yeah, he's actually basically locked out of this game at this point. He has no cards in his deck.
Yeah,
that
Chalice
are-
for 1 taking Disciple out of play. That's clearly better than taking the Arcbound Ravager out of play, I
Yeah,
think.
I mean,
Titania's Chosen
there
can
really,
block Arcbound Ravager.
there
He's
really
got,
is
like,
no way that Ben Stark wins this game.
Chalice for 1
can't
also takes Skull Clamp.
He can't Skull Clamp. He can't Disciple. I mean,
No shenanigans.
there's nothing he can do, and he only has access to black mana right now. His only way to remove the Chalice costs 1, so he can't use it.
What's that?
His only way to remove the Chalice is Oxidize, and he can't cast it. I mean, that was one reason that a lot of players had access to other,
Uh-huh. Well, there's Sylvan Scrying
Oh.
for Cloud Post number 3.
could be
Effectively-
I mean, it could be for a Stalking Stones.
Could also be for a Plains for Lena Abunas.
He doesn't actually have a Plains.
Oh, he doesn't?
No,
That
he
doesn't make any
just
sense.
has Talismans.
Oh, he's Talisman, sure. I'll buy that.
He has Talisman and Tooth and Nail.
Okay.
He doesn't actually plan on ever casting it.
Gets a
But
Blink Moth.
Nexus.
Interesting.
I don't mean nug me for 1 to death. So I can concede.
Ben just wants to get off stage right now. He just wants to go home and cry.
You're up.
I think he'll be back.
Oh, he'll be back.
He'll be back on stage again.
Thoughtcast maybe.
Well, there's Seed of the Sign on.
Nothing.
Blue mana. Gabrielle double takes. Just go. Not even Thoughtcast.
Just go. Just cast a Platinum Angel or something.
It's Tooth and Nail.
If he
time,
actually
right?
casts Platinum Angel, Ben can't win this game either. He has
that
no way
right?
to remove the Platinum Angel
Other than 1 mana.
other than 1 mana. I mean,
There's-
Chalice of the Void is incredibly powerful.
Cloud Post number 3 comes down. So that's 3 mana.
3.
4. Ah, the Abunas.
He cast it off the Talisman.
Is that the last card in his hand? Has he got no
Yeah.
cards?
He's got 0.
Wow, he really does have to just start attacking with Blink Moth, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. 20 to 18. 2 talisman damage. Affinity going first has dealt 0 damage.
How embarrassing.
It is. He really does have to just start doing this.
Going at it with the Nexus.
I mean, given infinite time, can Stark get out of this? Surely he can just get enough creatures in play to start swarming.
Yeah,
right?
I mean he could theoretically just swarm with Ravager
He can't play Disciples, but he can play Mirror Enforcers, Frogmites,
and Ravagers.
He can't. Can he play?
He can play Somber Hover Guard,
19 Stark.
which is actually quite relevant.
Sure. True.
Go.
What is in his hand?
I mean,
Like, let's say it's got a couple of welding jars. What was he going to do with the welding jars? He was going to play.
I mean, he
was going to play turn 2
yeah,
Frogmite and Ravager, I guess. Well, Ben Stark concedes. Gabriel Nassif. Wow. Masterfully played game. He came up with the Platinum Angel in the last turn. Showed the Platinum Angel, and Ben Stark conceded. So Gabriel Nassif is through to the semifinals, 3 games to 2. We'll take a break, and we're going to need to figure out whether we're taking a lunch break or playing the semifinals. So we'll figure it out and let you know momentarily.
They have the oxidized down.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have won the game.
So for all of you out there on the internet, we'll give you an update momentarily about what we're going to be doing next.